Poof. He was there. Now he's gone.
Where the democratically elected Narendra Modi created a Hindu nationalist state.
Foreign interference is foreign interference, irrespective of who does it and where it is done.
But its leader, Narendra Modi, is no Democrat.
Look, you have every right to comment, but I have every right to comment on your comment. So don't feel bad when I do.
In 2021, there was the first coup in Myanmar. Then in 2021, the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan. In 2022, the people of Sri Lanka came out on the streets and drove their prime minister out of there.
क्योंकि लोगों को पता है कि हिंदुस्तान एक बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनकर उभर रहा है दुनिया के अंदर, तो वेस्ट में नहीं चाह रहा है सर.
Today, they either have to give an account of their funding and spins, or they have to pack up their bags and leave India.
Poof. He was there. Now he's gone. Can we do this? I mean, is this guy a U.S. citizen? Was he born in the United States? Can you check that for me real quick? Pretty please. What's up, everybody? It's good to see you in the Speak and See show. Please like, subscribe, click that notification button so we get information out. You can get information in. He's from where? He was born in Budapest? He's Hungarian? So can the United States do what India's doing? Or no? I don't know. Find that out too. India is on freaking fire, man. They're kicking out one of the most popular, politically persuasive, and powerful people on earth. That was a lot of P's. But they're kicking him out. I'm not saying that Soros is anti-Semitic, nor do I think that he's Islamophobic, which a lot of people accuse him of. But I'm not saying that. Even though Soros has accused Modi of that, which I don't believe that either in the slightest. However, it does seem that whenever and wherever Soros puts his campaign fundings, he has a lot of power in creating like oddly mounted protests, in shaking things up and destabilizing things. He's very good at making people feel unstable. And India, being on the brink right now of becoming one of the most stable countries in the world, literally, they're on, I mean, if you see their GDP compared to other countries, they're like taking over. So they're really stable, if not the most stable country in the world, even over China at the moment. So the last thing they need is a destabilization or interference or Western promoted coup d'etat, if you know what I'm saying. Not that he would ever do anything like that, right? So why not kick someone out who's known to be an influencer or thought to be an influencer to the masses in that exact area where they really don't need right now, right? So I guess that's why India ain't playing games. They've got a vision for the future and they've just taken the offensive. These people are good, man. They're freaking doing it. They're freaking doing it. So here on this show, my staff and I have put together some pieces for you all to draw your own conclusions on what has brought us to this aggressively brawn conquest to rid India of George Soros. So grab a drink, please. Grab a drink. This is interesting stuff, and like and subscribe if you would. And let's get going. First, let's hear out George Soros on what he had to say about Modi.
Nationalism, far from being reversed, made further headway. The biggest and most frightening setback occurred in India, where the democratically elected Narendra Modi created a Hindu nationalist state, imposing punitive measures on Kashmir, a semi-autonomous Muslim region, and threatening to deprive millions of Muslims of their citizenship.
So is he really talking about Modi depriving Muslims of citizenship, or is Soros just talking about non-citizens who want citizenship? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm really, really here to learn right now.
India is an interesting case. It's a democracy, but its leader, Narendra Modi, is no Democrat. Inciting violence against Muslims was an important factor in his meteoric rise. Modi and business tycoon Adani are close allies. Their fate is intertwined. Adani Enterprises tried to raise funds in the stock market, but failed. Adani is accused of stock manipulation, and the stock collapsed like a house of cards. Modi is silent on the subject, but he will have to answer questions from foreign investors and in Parliament. This will significantly weaken Modi's stranglehold on India's federal government and open the door to push for much-needed institutional reforms. I may be naive, but I expect a democratic revival in India.
Wait. To me, it looks like he's clearly pushing an agenda to get Modi out. I mean, can we all agree on that? So we have Hungary, Britain, America, Africa destabilizing these places. Now, I mean, won't this guy just stay in his lane? Just saying. I mean, so now let's head over to Jay Shankar and hear what he said about this exact type of interference with Soros.
We think it's important that democracies are mutually respectful. It cannot be that one democracy has a right to comment on another, and that's part about promoting democracy globally. But when others do that, then it becomes foreign interference. Foreign interference is foreign interference, irrespective of who does it and where it is done. So it's a testy area. And my personal view, which I have shared with many counterparts, is, look, you have every right to comment, but I have every right to comment on your comment. So don't feel bad when I do.
Jay Shankar is a beast, man. But wait, there's more.
Essentially, Mr. Soros said India is a democratic country, but he doesn't think the Prime Minister of India is a Democrat. By the way, a few years ago, in the same conference, I was there at that time, he actually accused us of planning to strip millions of Muslims of their citizenship, which of course didn't happen. It was a ridiculous suggestion. But you have to understand what this actually means. I could take a view that the individual in question, Mr. Soros, is a old, rich, opinionated person sitting in New York who still thinks that his views should determine how the entire world works. Now, if I could only stop at old, rich and opinionated, I would put it away. But he is old, rich, opinionated and dangerous. Because what happens is when such people and such views and such organizations, they actually invest resources in shaping narratives. I spoke about globalization. Now, what globalization does is it actually creates a lot of the seamlessness of globalization, which creates all the opportunities, also allows narratives to be shaped, money to come in, foundations to go about their agenda. Now, in this particular case, it is very clear that he has very strong political preferences.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you really feel led. We're very grateful and thankful and blessed to have you here with us right now. And please leave your comments below, as we are here to learn. Now, I don't know about you, but after the research our team has done, we're finding that Jay Shankar, he's onto something, and he's not going to let any outside influences determine the fate of India's future. And now Modi has sent in a team to shut down and investigate Soros' organization. And more importantly than that, how does India as a country feel about what's happening? Do they want Soros and his ideas as to what a democracy is, or do they want India's ideas? This is where we start finding out some very interesting takes on it from people in India. So check this out.
कि अभी हाल ही में सरकार की तरफ से आरोप लगाया गया कि अमेरिका और वहाँ के कुछ बिजनेसमैन, जॉर्ज सोरोस जैसे बिजनेसमैन का नाम लिया गया, और OCCRP जैसी संस्थाएं हैं जो कि भारत में इसी तरह की फंडिंग करती हैं ताकि सरकारों को डिस्टेबलाइज किया जाए। और इसमें बहुत बड़ा योगदान जो है वो माना जाता है कि अमेरिकी उद्योगपतियों का है, और इसमें सरकारों का भी मेलजोल, क्योंकि US स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट इसको बहुत हद तक सपोर्ट करता है। तो इस तरह की साजिशों को कैसे आप लोग देखते हैं और कैसे टैकल करेंगे?
सर डेफिनेटली, आप अगर मैं आपको ये बोल रहा हूँ कि आप तो डायरेक्ट बता रहे हैं, मैं आपको इनडायरेक्ट तरीके से बताता हूँ कि कैसे हमारे देश के अंदर इस फंड का यूज करके प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट को नीचा दिखाने की कोशिश करी जाती है। अगर हमारे कुछ अच्छे रिलेशन रशिया के साथ भी चल रहे हैं, उन रिलेशनों को कैसे खत्म किया जाता है। आज आप देख रहे हैं कि जगह जगह पर धरना प्रदर्शन होते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग आ जाते हैं जो जगह जगह पर प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं, चीजों को करते हैं। उनको फंडिंग कहाँ से आ रही है सर? कोई ना कोई तो है जो उनको पैसा दे रहा है।
ठीक है
यार, एक आदमी 20-20 दिन तक हजारों लोगों के साथ रोड पे बैठ रहा है, उसका घर कैसे चल रहा है सर? अपना घर का खर्चा तो चला रहा हो। आज हजारों लोग बैठे हुए हैं, हजारों गाड़ियों के अंदर वो आते हैं, कोई ना कोई तो है जो उनको फंड कर रहा है कि तुम बैठो, तुम्हारे घर पर जो भी खर्चा होगा वो हम देंगे, तुम्हारे बच्चे जहां पढ़ाई कर रहे होंगे वो हम देंगे। तो कोई ना कोई तो है जो कहीं ना कहीं तरीके से फंड को लेके आ रहा है इस देश में, या इन लोगों को दे रहा है, ताकि हमारा देश क्या है सर, एक मतलब इंटरनली उलझ के रहे। क्योंकि लोगों को पता है कि हिंदुस्तान एक बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनकर उभर रहा है आज दुनिया के अंदर। तो वेस्ट में नहीं चाह रहा है सर, वेस्ट के लोग नहीं चाह रहे कि हिंदुस्तान एक बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनकर उभरे। अगर आप अभी आप हाल में ये देख लो ना सर कि 1947 से जब हम आज़ाद हुए, हम लगभग 5 युद्ध लड़ चुके हैं इस देश में। 1947-48 भी आप देख सकते हैं जब कश्मीर के ऊपर था। आप उसके बाद 1962 का देख लो, 65 का देख लो, 71 का, 99 का भी आप देख सकते हैं, जिसको हम एक इंसर्जेंसी वॉर बोलते हैं। हमने 1950 के अंदर रशिया के साथ एक डील करी हमारी देश ने कि यार हम लोग, क्योंकि हमारे को हमारी आर्मी स्ट्रांग बनानी है सर। आप देख रहे हैं कि 1962 के बाद हमने यूएस से वेपन मांगे, यूएस ने हमको वेपन नहीं दिए सर।
Come on, really? Who believes this? I mean, it's just coincidence, really. Whenever Soros isn't getting his way, that a massive protest and destabilization just so happens out of thin air. It's right. I mean, let's hear someone else's take. That sounds like a conspiracy theory to me.
In 2021, there was the first coup in Myanmar. Then in 2021, the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan. In 2022, the people of Sri Lanka came out on the streets and drove their prime minister out of there. By removing Imran Khan, there was a change of government there too. In 2023, India started burning Manipur, and in 2024, there was a big overturn in Bangladesh. That is, continuous efforts are being made to make the countries around India their own. Whenever a strong overturn has to be done, the people have to be taken to the streets by any means, and to bring the people to the streets, they have to give some narrative to them. Nor do you have to give any reason so that the people should grow and come on the streets. That is why from time to time, sometimes you organize a farmers' movement in India, sometimes you hold a protest in Ladakh, sometimes you burn Manipur, sometimes you get the train done one after the other. Get the people out, till then you will handle things. At some time something will happen that people will get angry and come out on the streets all of a sudden. Just do something at that point that the government changes. This is the trick. The coup in Syria is a great example of this, and Bindan Sahib has a month left to do as much as he can in this 1 month. As a result of the farmers' protest that is taking place in India, the farmers' movement is taking place, the demands of the farmers are not at all practical, and the government is ready to talk about it too. Not only this, all this is a part of the same system that was run in the neighboring countries, and if you want to see the proof of it, then the coup expert of the USA, Donald Lu, has come to India at this time, and at the same time the farmer protest is going on in India. After this, it will go to Sri Lanka and Nepal, because the situation in Sri Lanka and Nepal is fine right now. There is something wrong with this. The people of this country should understand that all the problems that have been created inside, they are being created from outside in. It is the maturity of the Prime Minister of this country that he is dealing with every matter calmly, patiently and coldly. If he takes the wrong step in anything or in a lathi charge by the police, if they get it done, you can imagine what they will do.
Things that make you go, It's a great theory. It's a great theory. But do you have any hard evidence on Soros being involved in any of this, really?
We Indians are very emotional people. You cry once in a manner, just people to shed both tears and money like water. We are ready to misuse this conscience of ours, and a deadly industry was growing exponentially in India. But then this gentleman is in 2014. Since then the foreign giants of this industry and their Indian soldiers are in a big dilemma as to what to do. When Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of India, there were about 30 lakh NGOs in the country. In Little Delhi alone, there are 75,000 NGOs, and only less than 10% of the NGOs submit their annual reports or balance sheets to the government. Let me give you an example that the Open Society Foundation runs a fellowship called the Soros Equality Fellowship. See for yourself. Wherever the civil society network spreads a lot, and in those countries, these funds start influencing the politics and policies of that country through various NGOs. sometimes in the name of fighting inequality and poverty, in the name of environmental protection. But during the time of the Congress government, in the name of grants, these foreign funds used to easily use India's Go network to nurture anti-national activities. But since 2014, the government of India has taken many stringent steps in this direction. Whether it is monitoring these NGOs through the mirror or the cancellation of FCRA licenses of thousands of NGOs before 2014, the NGOs which have ever made a mockery of the standards of transparency, impact and accountability. Today, they either have to give an account of their funding and spins, or they have to pack up their bags and leave India. Now you have to think whether you want a strong government to stop foreign interference in India, or your personal political compromising even India's sovereignty. Puppet government, think Jai Shri Ram.
So we all know that these three testimonies that we heard were only 3 out of 1.4 billion people who live in India. So this might not be the view of the overwhelming majority, but how many native Indians that live in India should it take to say we don't want any pale-faced Westerners deciding our future for us? How many? Who should have the greater voice? The foreigners with the money and their own agendas, or the people who have to eat, sleep, and breathe and live in that country if things don't turn out well? Is Soros going to struggle any if he's not accurate in his determination what democracy is in India? I mean, whose responsibility is India's? And do you think Soros is a threat to India? I'll leave my opinion where it belongs, and my opinion belongs where I have to reap its benefits of being right. And my opinion belongs where I have to take the blame when things go wrong. But as far as India goes, I think India is doing what India feels is best for its own country, and the way things are going right now, India seems to be on the right track. But those are just my thoughts, and I want to know what yours are. So lots of love to you all, and let's all strive for peace, unity, and love. And remember, God is love. So have a blessed day, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.